All right, good morning, good afternoon, and thank you for being here. And, especially with our change that we had to do this time, but I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the people that stepped up to help with this program, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great, but we're going to get started. So, Cal and James.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Tom West.
Let us pray. Father in heaven, whose will is that all your people should dwell together in harmony, we give you thanks for the opportunities we find in Rotary to widen our circles of friendship and goodwill. We are grateful for new friends that we have learned to appreciate in this clan, in this club, and share our friendship with. Lead us daily to find new avenues of goodwill in our business and professional and personal lives. Give us patience in dealing with those who are sharp and bitter. Give us creativity in finding ways to express ourselves, which will build better relationships. And Lord, give us a sense of humor that we may not take ourselves too seriously. Bless this club and its activities and outreach. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Tom. Family of Rotary, Terry Duffy.
As Heather said today, you got a long list. So I guess I'm going to earn my pay today, maybe. It's not that long. Let's do birthdays and anniversaries. Doesn't look any older, but David Hanks on December the 13th. So I think that would be today, sir, right? Celebrate big all day long. And I will say this, we really appreciate what David does here in the community, especially during this time of the year. Got a couple on December the 14th, Blake Daughtry and Samuel Prim, and a pair on the 17th of December, Aaron McCreek and Brian Davidson, and Dean Mitchell, December the 18th. Anniversaries, Mark Smith and Dina, December the 14th, along with Bill Shealy and Gloria. Dennis Cove and Dee Dee, December the 16th. Nathan Wallace and Brandy, December the 17th, and a pair on the 19th. That would be Rylan Everett and Megan, and Daniel Axel and Reagan. Hope y'all have a great week. And this is the week of Bell Ridge, right?
That's right.
Well, I can't wait for my shift on Wednesday afternoon. I hope we got them all full. Maybe we'll hear something from Rosemary about that a little bit later. But anyway, don't forget, if you got a shift, show up and have fun. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Paul. We thought you were welcoming a future Rotarian, but.
All right, so it's my first time up here and they gave me a really easy task on purpose, I guess. So I'm gonna
welcome our guests and visiting Rotarians today. So when I call your name, if you could stand and remain standing until all the visitors are recognized. So Tom Sorrells is a guest of Sheila Azar. And then did I miss anybody?
Brandon is here.
And then yes.
I'm sorry.
No worries. So we do have a visitor visiting Rotary. So Brandon, shoot, if you could stand as well, please. All right.
Welcome.
Yes. Very good. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks. I thought you were underinformed. All right, Camp Asco, Cameron.
Yes, Les. By all means.
So who's not on the naughty list today?
So the number of points is 2377. 2377. And the last four, 6594. Is that you there?
Drum roll.
Eight of diamonds.
How many cards are left? 30. Oh my.
Okay. You guys continue to be very generous. We built up quite a few points and still have quite a few cards. All right, Rosemary, needed to make an announcement.
Number one, thank you everybody that did the gifts for the foster kids and for the Salvation Army Angel Tree. We distributed over 80 to 80 different kits. I still need some people to sign up. There is somebody at least on every shift. We start tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock and we end at 6. And don't get us a Hobby Lobby. But the list is out at the foyer or whatever it's called. So please sign up. And I will be sending out text messages the night before your shift is. If you have any problems, just let me know. Thanks.
Before you sit down, let me put you on the spot. CDN, didn't she say that they have like 700 families? 700 families that Salvation Army works with to help them at Christmas. So we did a small part of that.
And all those gifts are out at the National Peanut Festival. It looks like a big old board game going on out there, and every square has a family in each one of them. And some of the families have about, I think there was one family with 8 children in one family. So they definitely appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. All right, James, are you ready to make your announcement?
Of course, of our constitution bylaws, so make the announcements of the nominees from the nominating committee for officer and for board directors for 22-23. If you're here, please stand. For President, Greg Hendricks. President-elect, Josh Chapman. Vice President, Rick Rickard. Rickard too. Rick Rickard. He goes by anything, right? I still got a piece of pork in my mouth. That's right. 6 nominees for 3 board positions: Adam Hall, Trey Michael, Art Morris, Jason Rudd, Terry Stansel, Don Tomlin. Thank you, guys, ladies. You may be seated. We will announce these again next week prior to taking nominations from the floor, and then our vote will happen. We have our sergeant at arms in place. Please come prepared. The ballots will be distributed to you at next week's meeting. Thank you, President Sheila.
Thank you, James. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the program over to Charles and Les. And I want to just say how much I appreciate these two, because they both saw a need for a program today after we had to cancel the senior citizens, and they both stepped up and made something, I think, really great happen. So, Charles, you go.
Thanks, Sheila, appreciate it. Merry Christmas to everybody. It's kind of funny how everybody sits in the back. I used to go to a workout class, and the same thing would happen. You had Synergy with Steve Cunningham, some of y'all, Randy, you know him. And he'd get there and back rows were full, and he said, all right, I'll see about this. So he turned the class around, he went in the front. So I thought about Sheila and I could move the mic over there and get all y'all right. You know, I hear you, Tara. I see you. I see you. But anyway, I appreciate y'all being here. I wanted to tell you a little about SEAC today and ELF that is going on, the production that they've got going on that is going to be absolutely fantastic. And if you didn't know, I told you all this about 6 weeks ago or 8 weeks ago, but our own Les is the big man. He is Santa. And so I'm going to invite him up here in just a second, just to kind of give you an idea of the experience of it all, of the whole process. But I wanted to give you a little bit of a few tidbits about ELF, and then when he gets finished, I'm going to give you a few tidbits about SEAC in general and tell you some good things that are going on with SEAC. But anyway, ELF runs, it starts tonight, is called a media night. They always, if you're unfamiliar with theater, they always have a media night where they run it just like a regular show, but they're trying to get the kinks out. And usually it's called that because the papers come, the news stations, and but what they did tonight with the help of Mike Schmitz, they are inviting kids to come in to see it for free that wouldn't normally be able to pay $16 for a ticket, which is absolutely fantastic. So I don't know how many they're planning on tonight, but the opening night is tomorrow night. It runs from Tuesday to Saturday, and Saturday they're running 2 shows. So you can imagine if a top actor gets hoarse or gets sick, you just got to keep running. And so it's pretty intense. But they've got a cast of 40 people and a crew of 25 people. That's how many it takes to get this thing going. They've had 40 rehearsals over 11 weeks. And so that equates to about 100 hours per rehearsal. If I remember right, back in the day, rehearsals could be an hour and a half, or they could be 2.5 hours. But this past week, I'm sure y'all are down there just until you get it done. They've got 12 mics that they'll be swapping out. And if you can imagine, it's at the Opera House, but if you can imagine, they've got 65 people running around back there. And so it gets pretty crazy back there. But just to give you an idea of the cast, it includes office workers, a massage therapist, a CEO, a church music worship leader. If any of y'all go to Covenant, Trey McKay is Buddy the Elf, and he just does a phenomenal job from what I've been told. Stay-at-home moms, ACON students are in this production, Farley employees, graphic designers, insurance salesmen. There's a 10-year-old and a high school senior. So that's what it kind of makes up, which is pretty cool. Just to give you an idea, the budget, could anybody guess what the budget is for this production? Anybody? What'd you say? No, not that much. It's $40,000, which is actually a lot. When we do them at the Cultural Arts Center, they're usually about $10,000 or below, but it's $40,000. A fourth of that cost goes to royalties. It's about $1,000 a show every time we run it. We have to pay the royalties, and then the Opera House takes about a fourth, and then the rest of the cost is contract labor, sets, costumes, tech requirements, that kind of thing. So anyway, if you haven't gotten your tickets, you need to get them. It's going to be high energy, a lot of singing, cool costumes, great storyline, and you'll just, more than anything, you'll be blown away by the talent in this area. But anyway, with that, I will give you good old St. Nick, Santa, Les.
Well, I don't really have any specific
things prepared, but I thought I'd just share from the heart. September 26th was auditions, and I missed out on the first night. How did I get involved? Two ladies from my church got the SOS after the first night of auditions that they needed some men who could sing. There was a shortage of male singers because this is a musical. And so Billy Maxine Smith called my wife to see if I was approachable on the subject. And she said, would I please consider auditioning the second night of auditions? And I said, well, what is involved? And as Charles said, she didn't get into it, but the director called me. Michael Clarity is our director. And one of the interesting things is that each play has a different director. They're volunteers just like the actors are. And so there'll be 4 or more directors every year. And he broke down for me that rehearsals were Monday night and Tuesday night and Thursday night and Sunday afternoon for the duration, which is about 11 weeks, and then a week of the story. And I said, well, I have a couple of board meetings during that period for Wireless Electric, and I'm not going to ask them off. I mean, that's my job. And he said, well, we'll work around you those rehearsals. And so we kind of hashed it out. So he talked me into the audition, and talk about being out of your element. They hand you some lines, and you go up on a stage with 3 judges, and you and another person read these lines from a scene. And I did poorly. I'd never seen the lines before. But I think what got it for me was we went and stood around the piano, about 10 of us. There were actually 2 guys that showed up with Santa Claus costumes. I said, oh my God, they had their own Santa, and one of them had the full Santa beard already, it was natural. And so Belinda, and I don't know her last name, Charles, you may, is a music director. Yeah, but I can't think of her last name. But she's a retired music director from the school, and so she played it. Had somebody play one of the songs that is one of Santa's solos, and played it through, and then she sang it through. 10 of us were in the piano, and Clarity said, "Okay, starting with you, sing it." And I was the first one. And I did okay, I guess, but I can tell you the other 9 did terrible. There wasn't another singer there, which is crazy. But it was just, I guess, what happens sometimes. So I guess you could say I got it by default, because I halfway carry a tune, and I had some advocates at Evergreen Presbyterian Church that have influence over the director. So he called me and said, well, he said, I don't know if you want to make this commitment or not. I said, well, if you need me, I think I might as well try. I was going to do it when I retired one day anyway. But anyway, from that point forward, and y'all, I'm going to ramble, so when I get time,
I'll cut you off.
y'all just pull me. But I had no idea the process was so involved, as Charles said. I think we started with 43, Charles, and I think a few people washed out due to work commitments. But I got this big book, and I've got a lot of lines, and I've got songs. And the first thing that overwhelmed me was memorizing all the lines. I thought, after I started practicing them, I don't know if I can do this. And so I got into this regimen. It's a 45-minute drive to work and a 45-minute drive home. And so I took my scenes and I read the lines into the voice recorder of my phone. And when I'm driving out for 11 weeks now, when I drive 45 minutes out, I'm going over lines. When I'm driving 45 minutes back, I'm going over lines. I walk 3.5 miles, 4 or 5 days a week. I carried my script, walking through the neighborhood. If you live on my walk route, you've heard me reciting lines or singing the solos. And I mean, I walk by and somebody be out in the yard and look, oh, what is going on? But at first, I'm 67, y'all. I wasn't sure I could learn all the lines.
I had this fear of failure thing. And after about 3 or 4 weeks, they begin to get easier. But then you start, so we started practicing with our books, and we're just reading the lines to each other. And that's called, and the first part's called blocking. So we're not at the Opera House, we're in the ballroom at, what's the building called? The Cultural Arts Center. We're in this ballroom, and so there's no furniture, no props, and you just start saying where you stand. So when you say this line, walk over here, and when you say, so we're reading all that back and forth, and then at some point, they get the video camera out, and when you kind of got it, and they video it, and then they put it on our Facebook private page, so that a lot of these have choreography in them. So a lot of people are having to memorize what their moves are. And so you get it blocked, you get it recorded, and everybody is accountable, is accountable from that point forward to memorize it. And then we had some practices where we're just doing the songs, and the music director was taking us through and practicing all that. And then at some point, November 14th, we're off book. No more book. So then if you are practicing and you don't have a line, you just say line, and somebody reads the line to you. But what was most interesting to me is I've never done this before, and I thought it wasn't going to be that hard, but it's a lot harder because every line you say has to be said a certain way. Every step you take has to be in coordination with everybody else, and there's things like upstage and downstage and center stage, and it's like a language that I didn't know. Don't do that, you're upstaging, buddy. And all this, and the director sits in front of you. You're talking to the wall like it's an audience, but you got the director and his assistant, and maybe the choreographer, and maybe the music director sitting, and the director's got a notebook, and he's got a pen. And so all practice long, you say your line, and you say, and then you see him over right. And then you get over here, and it's right. And then about every 10 days, Les, can you stay after practice today? I want to go over my notes with you. And what it reminded me of was when Miss Dothan told me in the 12th grade, Mr. Allen wanted to see me in the office. Because, it's brutal. When you were saying that scene, you seemed angry. Okay, well, I thought Santa was angry. No, Santa's not angry. Santa's disappointed. Okay. And you do that for a few times, and, well, you seemed too disappointed. You were speaking so softly. Maybe Santa was exasperated. Ready? 2 minutes. Okay. But anyway, so it was brutal. If you're going to do this, and I encourage everybody to do it, you got to be prepared to be corrected and corrected and corrected. I say that rather than coached. Because they want a quality show. But anyway, all said and done, I love this experience. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. The most important thing is the relationships between the fellow cast members. These are life-changing, just like when you play baseball or football and you form these relationships. Y'all are going through the fire together. There'll be lifetime friendships. So please come. It's a great production. Yes?
Let's hear your ho, ho, ho.
I actually don't have that one.
You know,
No?
well, give us a line.
Okay. Buddy, you did it. You saved Christmas. Want to ride back to the North Pole?
No thanks, Santa. We gotta stick around.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
I've heard he was doing a fantastic job. He is being humble, but I've heard him sing, and it's really, really fantastic. So get your tickets. And he was talking about you're just on cue, and you got to be on the lines. And the first play I did was about 5 years ago. It was the Trial of Ebenezer Scrooge. Hopefully none of y'all went to that. But anyway, so it was media night, And we had this older gentleman that was playing Scrooge and drove it from Enterprise every practice. And he was really, really good, but it got closer to showtime and he didn't know his lines and we were all terrified. And so we go to media night and excuse me, most of the Christmas shows, they sell out pretty good just because people want to take office staff and stuff like that. And this was a dinner theater. So anyway, so we go to media night and some of my buddies didn't have tickets because it had sold out. Well, anyway, Cliff Mendham, some of y'all know him, he and Helen, I got them tickets and they came to media night and we got toward the last scene, okay? So I throw my line at Scrooge and Scrooge looks back at me with this blank face, skips over 2 pages worth of dialogue. Okay, and so we're looking at each other and I was just like, oh my. So anyway, we finish up and then I'm going home and Cliff calls me and he says, "Dude, that was just fantastic. The end, I just didn't understand the end." And I was like, "No, that takes my tea." He skipped 2 pages of dialogue. But anyway, it is a rush, I will tell you. And so if you get the opportunity, go do it. It's all volunteer. And so everything you're seeing from the director to all these actors, they've got their own lives. It's just, the process is amazing. But anyway, I want to tell you a little bit about SEAC, and then I've been tracking on my phone. The HA choir is going to come in and sing a few songs for us, which is going to be really nice. But they're in the middle of exam week. So it was really a chore to get them out. They're coming, they're excited. I'm excited to have them. But SEAC, Jennifer had another meeting. I was going to get her to come and just tell you a little bit about what's going on with SEAC. But, you know, people don't realize it, but between cast and crew and classes, it engages about 300 to 500 people a year of just people being involved. Now, that includes about 40,000 people coming to visit the Cultural Arts Center and the Opera House for rehearsals, performances, classes, and audience. So the presence in our community is unbelievable. Our budget, I'm on the board, by the way. I'm sure y'all were like, well, what is he doing up here tooting SEAC? But I've been on the board probably for 9 years now. Great group of folks, a lot of forward thinking in that group. A lot of extroverts too. Those board meetings are lively because many people get people to shut up. They're all theater people. But anyway, there are a few of us that will round it back up. But our annual budget's about $250,000. Half of that comes from the community and half of it comes from ticket sales. We don't get any kind of funding from the city or the county, so we are completely self-sustaining, which is pretty impressive actually. Have 3 to 4 productions at the Cultural Arts Center, and we have 1 to 2 at the Opera House. But at the Opera House, it comes with cost. It's very, very expensive to do shows at the Opera House. Everybody goes, well, why don't y'all have all the shows there? It's a wonderful building, blah, blah, blah. It costs so much, and for a non-for-profit to cover the cost of that is just, it's not realistic. So that's why we're at the Cultural Arts Center for the smaller productions. Usually go to the Opera House for big musicals, children's productions. It's going to bring in a lot of folks, and especially, it's always a treat to have an orchestra down there. I don't think we're on orchestra. Oh, excellent, excellent, good. So, but anyway, wanted to kind of update y'all from a community standpoint where SEAC is. About 3 or 4 years ago, the Long Range Planning Committee got together and said, we cannot sustain staying in the Cultural Arts Center. The building's kind of falling in. We need something better for the community. We need something to be proud of. If y'all been to theaters in Columbus, Phoenix City, other cities, it's just amazing what they have. And so we started thinking, well, we started touring other theaters in other cities. We started going to churches that had just built to kind of see, okay, what can we build and where do we want to build it? So about 3 years ago, you'll see on the screen right there, this is downtown. And has anybody been to the old Herman and Ann's old billiard place? Chris just walked out, but Chris and I used to patron that place in high school. I can tell you that now. I wouldn't have told you that then. But anyway, we built, we purchased Herman and Ann's, which is the building north. You can see it's kind of got the green dot right there. That's Herman and Ann's. This is Foster and Crawford. And then where it says Credit Law, that's the old Mack Electric building. So 3 years ago, we purchased Herman and Ann's, the Mack building, where you see these cars in the top left corner. That is actually that's parking for the people. There are apartments on Main Street. I don't know if y'all knew that, but there are apartments on Main Street and that is their parking. So that parking is not going anywhere. Now, this is the old Greyhound station building right here on the left corner. I'm proud to say we just purchased that about 3 months ago. And so that will be up and running at the beginning of the year to have children productions in there, rehearsals, and it is exactly the way it's been when it was built. I mean, there's 2 really large bathrooms and it's just big open space. And of course, all the seats that were in there, they're gone now. But this is Foy Mann's building on the corner, the bottom right corner, and then the small house right here is like a dilapidated house that we've tried to acquire, but the gal that bought it about 5 years ago, she thinks she's gonna make it into a bed and breakfast, but it's kind of fallen in. But anyway, as you can see, we own about 65% of the block. So the hope and the goal is since we do have the land, to build something special there that the community is going to be really, really proud of. And so, so we're excited about that. But anyway, any questions that I can answer? I don't know if I'll have the answer, but I'll try about SEAC or ELF or anything else. Don't leave me hanging, something.
So it's 7 o'clock every night.
7 o'clock every night, starting tomorrow night, and then Saturday there's a matinee. And Mike Schmitz is kind of helping fund that as well. The tickets are reduced price, I
Yeah,
think.
16 on Saturday at 2 and 25 at night.
Yeah.
And I understand he's bringing 300 folks in tonight.
Oh, that's right, for media night, that's right.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, y'all know how good Mike is to this community, but yeah, he's bringing in, I think, like 12 family agencies tonight or something like that, which is just phenomenal. To give those kids and their families an opportunity that they wouldn't have otherwise had. And so, but y'all come out if you can. Oh, there they are. You can just come on down here. Funny little tidbit, that's my lovely bride back there. She drove the bus. So,
How many people have seen Buddy the Elf, the movie? Show of hands. Okay. How many have seen the musical? Nobody?
Not yet.
Yeah, it was on Broadway 2010 through 2013.
I have a question. What's the deadline to purchase tickets?
There should be some at the gate. I mean,
Oh, at the gate there is.
at the Opera House, you should be able to buy them as they come in, shouldn't they, Charles?
What's that?
They can buy tickets just by showing up. can't
I think you have to go online since it's the Opera House, but I think yes, I think you can.
Okay.
So, oh my goodness.
they? There's CX.com.
So why don't we get like, like 10 and 10 orders and or y'all just come on, do whatever you want to do.
They know how to do it.
Somebody on the piano?
Yes, sir.
Let's go. All right.
Move the band. Move the, hold on, move the band.
Now, this one.
Yes.
Check it out. Okay, so Amy, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Amy's with Houston Academy, and you've got what grades represented here?
This is 6th grade through 12th grade.
6th through 12th grade, and that's great, and yeah, and they've got a big concert tonight, right?
Tonight, yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that's great, so, okay. And we
Charles,
appreciate y'all
Charles.
being here.
We should probably turn that mic off.
I don't know, it may help them, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Y'all look great.
everywhere. Christmas is here, if you can. If there is love in your heart and your mind, you will feel like Christmas all the time. I feel you, Christmas. I know I found you never fade away. The joy of Christmas stays here inside us. Fills each and every heart with love. Where are you, Christmas? Where are you, Christmas? We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings to you wherever you are. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. Oh, bring us a piggy pudding. Oh, bring us a piggy pudding. Oh, bring us a piggy pudding. Oh, bring some right here. Good tidings to you wherever you are. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. So bring some right here. Good tidings to you wherever you are. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Can you tell everybody what your name is and how old you are? You're 11. Could y'all hear the solo in the back?
Yeah.
It just gave me chills from up here. That was phenomenal. That was phenomenal. So who are the seniors out of the bunch? Mims and Natalie, yeah, I know y'all. Fantastic. And with the exception of you, does everybody have exams this week?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, well, okay, well, best of luck. Study hard.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Well, you can keep singing or you can leave. It makes no difference to me, but, well, I'm gonna meet you on Chick-fil-A, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. All right.
Thank you all, appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow, that's great. Great job.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you
Yeah, that was
again.
beautiful. All right, see, I told you, it's gonna be a great program. Thank you, Les. Thank you, Charles. Choir, that was great. Next week, December the 20th, Dr. David Roy from Wiregrass Surgical is going to be here, and he's going to be sharing about robotic surgery and the benefits of robotic surgery. And David is from Dothan, and he's come back here to practice, so it should be a great program next week as well. And so thank you, guests and visiting Rotarians. We appreciate you being here. And let's do our four-way test. Of the things that we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Have a good week.